An update, folks, on the narco violence in Sinaloa, Mexico. You'll all remember on July 25th, Mayo Zambada was kidnapped by Joaquin Guzman Lopez, brought to the United States against his will, and turned over to U.S. authorities. Subscribe to our channel. Go back and look through some of the reporting, some of the videos we have on this. We talked about the circumstances surrounding his kidnapping, how exactly it was done, and also had a lawyer on to do a legal analysis. Will this rendition hold up in court? Will the U.S. be successful in bringing the charges that Mayo's currently facing? Immediately after the kidnapping, there was calm in Sinaloa, except for a few isolated incidents. And what was going on at that time was those loyal to Mayo Zambada were trying to build an alliance to go after the Chapitos, and it looks like they did that. On September 9th, the violence began to erupt. Now, Manuel López Obrador, former president of Mexico, just ended his term a couple days ago. That guy who's known for his hugs, not bullets rhetoric, and really about not going after the drug cartels the way probably the United States would like him to. He says the uptick in violence in Sinaloa is the fault of the United States. He says that arresting Mayo Zambada is actually causing the issues. Well, it definitely did cause a dispute between factions, right? One faction kidnapped a member of the other faction and turned him over to U.S. authorities, and that is obviously something that's going to cause a war in the criminal world. So what's going on now? The groups loyal to Zambada, known as the Maisa, they're now warring with the Chapitos, like I said, or the Chapisa. You'll hear stories of bodies all over Sinaloa right now, some left with sombreros on the heads, sombreros on the torsos, pizza slices attached to the bodies with the knife. So what that is the calling card of the faction that's doing the murder, right? There sounds like there's been some confusion whether that's to identify the victim or to identify the killer. But those are the calling cards of the killers. So if you see pizza slices attached to a body with a knife, they were killed by the Chapitos. If you see sombreros on a body in Mexico right now, they were killed by those loyal to Mayo Zambada. Over 90 people have been killed in the region. Now, interestingly, a couple other things. The government has sent 3,000 special forces troops to the area, and just probably 2 days ago, as we air this, back on September 30th, the army went into Culiacan and seized all the weapons of the local police force. Now, the governor of Sinaloa, Ruben Rocha, he says there are two groups that are confronting each other here, and the authorities are here to face them down equally, both of them without exception. This is likely not true, and I believe this is why they took the weapons from local law enforcement. The Mexican government has a history of choosing sides in these wars. They have a history of backing the faction who they have the, let's call it the most lucrative financial arrangement with, or the faction that they can best manage in the future. So without a doubt, they have chosen a side in this war, and they've taken the guns from local law enforcement to make sure that they are not openly battling local law enforcement officers on the streets of Sinaloa right now. It's a crazy situation, right? Al Jazeera has called it a civil war. I don't think you can argue with that at this point. Stay tuned. We'll have more as more develops on this. It's a crazy situation in Sinaloa as the violence picks up.